There are sonic energy devices or LRADs, intense sound waves or high pressure pulses to disorient people. Long range acoustic devices that emit directed sounds at people. Directed energy or heat ray systems used in non-lethal strikes. Soldiers experience nausea, vertigo, nosebleeds and vomiting. Something similar to what was reported happened in Venezuela. Cyber tools and digital disruption. Cyber operations disable networks and early warning systems. But through the capture of President Maduro, the nature of the operation has become a point of discussion after Trump used the term Discombobulator. Now, Discombobulator, that's what? This is to describe the weaponry that was used during the operation. Trump said a secret weapon was used during a US military raid in Caracas. Joining us now is Sudhir Mishra ji, former CEO of the DRDO. Sudhir ji, namaste. Dr. Ranganathan stays on with us. Sudhir ji, this Donald Trump's reference to this Discombobulator, is it a reality? Is there really a sound weapon or a sonic weapon?
I would like to say that if you remember some time back, in Havana, capital of Cuba, US embassy officials have complained of
2018, 2019,
their heads blowing up, listening strange sounds, and ultimately they found out that it was a kind of sonic boom which was directed against them. And I think they have used the much advanced device. They must have developed the technology of that and must have used the much more advanced technology in this Venezuela operation. They work on a principle of radio wave, you can say high power microwave, which is directed against the enemy soldiers.
Right.
And these microwave, they sometimes they numb or sometimes they create a very, very different kind of problems to the soldier's brain. Neurons starts behaving in a funny manner. Sometimes they cause damage to the brain tissues also.
Right.
And this is, a soldier, a person whom it is directed at.
Right.
He feels that his head is, undergoing a sonic explosion. He starts listening to very, very explosive sounds, and as has been reported in Venezuela,
right,
the soldiers they started vomiting blood. The blood was oozing out from their nose, ears, and hundreds of them have complained about it. So US must have advanced on that sonic boom technology. You see, there is no defense available. That is the first thing. The second thing is, this is not a very complicated technology. If somebody has mastered the high power microwave, then they can experiment and find out which frequency and what wavelength is able to influence the human beings. You see, it's a very inhuman kind of technology, and it's very similar to CBN, which is banned almost in several countries. Like I'm talking about chemical, biological, and nuclear. So it's a kinetic one stated that their brain was exploding inside out. They were listening to very strange sounds, and the blood was oozing out from their mouth, nose and ears. And it can happen only when somebody is attacking the brain tissues. Then only it is possible. Otherwise, it's not possible. Potent. And if it happens with one soldier, it's an accident. But it happened with almost every soldier which was on the ground in that particular area. So I'm sure it must be sonic boom.
And if it can happen with so many,
which has disabled their fighting capability.
True, Sudhirji, and if it can happen with everybody, all the soldiers there, it can happen to an entire district, an entire city, an entire population that can be attacked or wiped out.
Talked about the weapon, the discombobulator.
Yeah,
what
discombobulator? Well, I'm not allowed to talk about it.
But what does it do?
Let me just tell you, you know what it does? None of their equipment works. That's what it does. Everything was it was my name. I'm very proud of the name. Everything was discombobulated. It was, practically a shot wasn't. They were ready.
Right.
And when we came,
I mean,
They couldn't do anything.
You saw this on the video. You could tell.
Tom, it discombobulated everything.
Nothing worked, even including humans.
Well, let's put it this way.
Out.
We lost no equipment in a very strong, and they're good fighters, great fighters, in a very bad environment.
Tonight, I can share new and exclusive reporting about a cluster of suspected directed energy attacks that are blamed for crippling brain and neurological injuries affecting spies, diplomats, military personnel, and civilians. It's commonly known as Havana syndrome. Through my reporting, I've identified at least 3 incidents beginning in 2020 involving U.S. government personnel in Northern Virginia. In some cases, the individuals were investigating directed energy weapon technology, and at least 1 incident occurred at a U.S. government facility. The CIA and the Office of the Director of National Intelligence, that's the nation's top intelligence official, did not respond to my questions about how the risk to U.S. personnel is being addressed. Joining us now is Dr. James Giordano, Professor Emeritus of Neurology at Georgetown University Medical Center. He has also served as a forensic neuroscientist on Havana syndrome cases. Dr. Giordano, let's begin with a simple explanation for people so they can understand how these directed energy attacks impact the individuals and their brains.
Sure, absolutely. Well, if we're looking at directed energy, the issue is that essentially there's 2 types that have been used. One was a form of sonic energy, and the other appears to be a laser-induced microwave, a very rapidly pulsed microwave. In the former situation with the ultrasound, what's essentially happening is the compression and expansion of the ultrasonic wave causes almost a bubbling effect within fluid media within the brain, within the head.
So it's like a concussive effect within the brain.
It is. It's almost as if what's happening is that they're getting some form of decompression sickness. The symptoms are very similar. So what's happening is these are causing bubbling and rippling, which is then disrupting not only the balance organs and hearing organs, but may also then transmit into the brain to cause something like a mini stroke.
So let me
think, if you will, of putting something like a cell phone very briefly into a microwave for a second. It may seem that it's working the same, but it will never actually be the same. And in fact, its function may decrement with time. This is the same thing we're seeing with these patients. There'll be an initial set of effects that tend to worsen as various aspects of the brain and nervous system become far more disrupted, deteriorated over time.